Hey everyone, this is Chrissy with Tackling the Giants, and today's video is called The Beginning and the End. As I progress through this video, you'll begin to see why I chose this title. On the screen here, you'll see something blocked out, the forbidden thing to be spoken of. It's a title of an article, and it says Janus, the face of that type of enhancement. You'll see a picture on the left-hand side of Janus, which is a two-headed god looking forward to the future and back to the past, which is where we get the new year, supposedly new year of January, beginning in January. It's a man-made calendar. And then on the right, you see something we're going to go over in a little bit there, and it'll make more sense as we go on. Okay, so first things first, before we get started, I would like to thank everyone for praying for me regarding my blood pressure issues that I had. I had made a community post on it. I have been successful in controlling it with diet and different things that I've tried, natural herbs and things like that, thanks to Jehovah and all of your prayers. Second, I would like to apologize for not putting out a video for a while, but I make videos when I feel led to, and sometimes there may not be content. So I would like to thank everyone for staying with me throughout my quiet periods. And last of all, I'm going to recommend 4 people's channels that have information regarding what I'm about to go over. The information from each of these channels over a long time period has led me to make more connections that I would like to share in this video. And I want to make it clear, though, that though I recommend these channels regarding the information that I'm about to present to you, this doesn't mean that the channels that I'm recommending that we all agree on everything spiritually. I think that's kind of hard to do these days. So we do agree on some things, and this is where we're coming together. So just keep that in mind, please, with anything that I ever share or recommend. It doesn't mean that I agree with everyone on everything on their channel. I trust in time that God will bring all his people together in unity, truth, and of one accord. And so that being said, let's get to the message. So the first person's channel that I want to recommend, and I recommended her channel on an earlier community post, and this is kind of one of the main basis of this actual video. It's kind of linked back into full circle back to this one video. So her channel name is Dreaming of Heaven, and she has that she has this video here. This was the original video titled Mingling of the Seeds Revealed. And so I had watched that video several months ago, and I had recommended it on my channel on a community page. And then I guess it's showing here about 2 months ago, I had watched another video, which I'm going to kind of go over a little bit, and I went to her website and I told her about it because it reminded me of her video, and she ended up making a second part to this one. So you can see there, I said, "Hey, Crystal, I think you might find this video very interesting regarding what was found in meteorites." In my mind, I linked it to the video, and then I gave the link. And then I told her, not that I believe that this is how life spreads, like the title suggests on the video, which you'll see in a second, but it's consistent with the code being in the meteorites and possibly what's in this thing. Okay. So what you'll understand is how she links this to meteorites. Okay, so this is why this video that I'm going to go over reminded me of her video right here. Okay, and she says, wow, thank you so much for sharing. So she does a part 2. Okay, and she talks about how she thinks, that it links to the things that are in these, and that's the same thing that the same thoughts that I had. Okay. So this is the first video, that I would recommend if you haven't already seen it, regarding what I'm going over. Okay. Okay. And then this is that video, this one here that I linked, that I had watched, and it reminded me of her video right here. And it's by Mud Fossil University, and it's called "Could Biology in Meteorites Be How Life Spreads? Because we found a snake in a meteorite." And you can watch this video. He does it, and as he's recording, he actually finds this little snake worm-like looking thing, and it actually starts moving around and everything after he puts some hydrogen peroxide on what he says is an artery to create a catalyst reaction, which indicates blood and life. And you see a lot of bubbles and oxygens and things, and you need to start seeing this little thing moving around. And so it reminded me of her video because she links these meteorites to the fallen angels code and in this video. Okay, so I told her about that. And then I'm just kind of I'll get to the point here of like where I'm combining all this information together, but I kind of have to give you a background of, everything. So she ended up making a second video, part 2. And again, it's obviously on her channel. And this is just a capture of some of these slides that she has up. And I actually used some of this in this video. So I want to make sure that I give her credit of this. Like I said, it's just like pieces from watching, other people's videos and then putting things together and doing some research on my own where I have, make other connections, and we're just all working together and making these links together, which is what the body of Christ is supposed to do. So this is part 2 and you can see that on her channel as well. So then another, so that's 2 people, that I've recommended. And then this is a third person's. She does a lot of community posts, and I highly recommend her as well. This is her channel, Messiah is the Truth. And so this is one of her community posts. And this links to, what I'm going to talk about in this video. And it says how Janus became the doorkeeper of heaven and God of the gods. And these, which I'm going to talk about specifically, and linking some of this stuff. But you see basically how Janus is tied to this in multiple ways, okay? So, and it's not even just these articles. There's going to be a fourth person's website that I recommend, and he even shows even more articles linking Janus with this thing, okay? Which is what this article is about. So regarding this publication right here, okay, if you go to that publication, and I'm going to have to be careful as to what I say, but again, this is Janus, the two-headed God of doors and beginnings, okay, looking forward and back to the past. And so you can see here's the link, and it talks about all of these, the protein and all this different stuff. And where it makes the link, it talks about this dependent enhancement here, which causes problems because so what it's saying is that they're summarizing this dual or Janus faced, right? Because it's dual faced, two-faced of this, right, enhancement, and offer their viewpoint. So what they're saying is it has like a dual. It can they're basically, from what I am understanding it saying, is that they believe that it could cause problems also linked to um, like linked to a, what is it called? I'm trying to think, but basically where your body rejects it and you go into a cytostorm or something like that. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I did a video on it. Anyway, so but that my point here is that they're linking this to Janus, okay? And then we see multiple places. It's not just on one spot, and I'm going to go over some more. So this is the fourth person that I recommend, and it's Revelations of Jesus Christ. And he put out this video, and it's called The Dark Portal of New Year's Eve. And he apparently had a video back, I don't know how long ago, but in this one he explains that he had to take it down. And in this one he's like re-uploading it with some new information. And so he talks about how, these are linked, okay? And so and it's kind of a long video, but it's definitely worth watching it because you will see even more information where he links the same things that I'm talking about in also in different articles and different ways. So some of the stuff though from his video, this is a transcript. This is actually a screenshot from a part of his video, and you can see at the 2:32. And I believe he said that this was from a TV show or a movie. I'm not sure, called Utopia, and where and he plays it at the very beginning. Obviously, you can see this very beginning, and they're talking about I guess the problems with how many people there are and so on. And they say the answer isn't doing away with people, but the answer is Janus. And they say, our answer to this is Janus. And then it says Janus consists of this protein, and that it consists of this amino, as you would say, acid independently of each other. independently of each other, there's no harm. But when they're brought together in the subject, okay, so this protein and the acid, when they're brought together in the person, they act as this can't say that, trigger that prevents this type of division, and the cell that's targeted can no longer replicate itself and thereby rendered useless, and the change is permanent and hereditary. So this is just in that movie Utopia, but he like puts that there, and he shows, like, because he says that the Utopia video, it talks about, I guess, I haven't seen it, but he says that it's something to do with like, I guess, a big plague or something, and people line up for the the sorcery, I guess, as an answer, and so on. And I guess it has something to do with that. So it's kind of like predictive programming, I guess. And so, anyways, whenever you look up um, this here, okay, the Janus particle, you can see that what it says online, it shows that it's two surfaces, okay, with different physical or chemical properties. And so that's why they call it that, because it's like it's two-faced, right? Like I showed you here, it's two-faced, right? It's like it's dual. So, they represented it as a blue and a yellow, which he also brings out. And that's why I'm talking about this in here for this part of his video, that, and he doesn't go into detail, but he says, I guess, kind of like use your brain or think about it or whatever. And so I believe what he's referencing is this here, okay, the blue and the yellow, the stuff that's going on a whole lot right now. And we know that this is the coat of arms, and this here is a trident, which in Greek is represented by a psi. And I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's PSI. And I will show you that, and we'll get into that later on. So just keep this in mind. How this is all like just kind of coming together. And Janus, is obviously a pagan god. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. So I wanted to go into, okay, so on this video, let me see, okay, I don't think let me see, hold on one second. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, sorry about that. So on this video, and I thought I had referenced it a little bit more, but I guess I didn't. So she has this here, right? And she actually has it on like another slide where it's a little bit bigger, but she references how it's normally ATCG, and how it's changed to ATCCG. And that's where she gets this here, ATCCG, which we're going to go over, which turns it into 10,5,6,6,6,5. Okay, so I'm going to show you that in a second. But I wanted to just verify that because I wasn't sure where she had gotten that, even though I've seen that before somewhere, but it's been so long ago. Like I said, this is just kind of like putting everything together, that I searched for it. And I came up, with all this information. You can see, what I actually searched. And I pulled up this one and this one. And so anyways, this is the first one. And it didn't have anything regarding when I searched for this. So I was just pulled it up to show you that this does, in fact, have to do with, this, okay, the proteins, and this here. You can see, who did this, okay, that company. Okay, and then we see, that this is talking about protein and stuff. So it has to do with something, with our makeup, right? So it fits with what they're saying. Anyways, and then this one, okay, I guess it's actually this one, not this one. I don't know. I don't know. I think I actually brought it up on this one. But anyways, I looked, and you can see you can do that search, and you can go to all of these if you want, and you can just control F, and you can put in, because that's for control find, and you can put in, this or whatever, and you can search through the whole thing without having to read it all and find what's pertinent. So that's what I did here. I did a search, and I searched, and then this came here. So this is that, this patent. And so I guess that's this one because it's the Justia. Okay. So anyways, I found this, and you can read about it here. But it's talking about that. Okay. It's talking about this here. Okay. And it's the same one regarding it. And it does tell you, it tells you that the polynucleotide can be structurally changed from this to this. So this is just another witness to it, okay? But it also says to this with 5-MEC. So I thought, well, that's weird. I wonder what 5-MEC is, right? Like that kind of, so I searched that just to see, because it replaced the C with the 5-MEC. So I don't really understand it, but if anyone knows anything about it, you can add to it, or make a comment, because we're all trying to figure this out together. I don't understand everything. I'm just sharing with you information, and we can help one another figure this out. So I searched it, and basically all that I came up with was that it just has to do with the structural, code, and the other stuff that's in things. So you can see that it, has to do with code basically. And I pulled up one of the websites, and you can see that it's modified code basically is what it has to do with. So if you want to do more research on that or whatever, you can. I was just curious what that had to do with it. Okay, so I wanted to go over this real quick because I have a two-part video. I put it up here. This is part one, this is part two. This is more of informational, and then this is more going into biblical revelations that I had and making connections and things. This is interesting because I go over how okay, I hope you know what it means, right? That's forbidden to be spoken of, how it's coded, the thing that, everyone was supposed to get, and causes confusion in the code. And this shows how it was created by a digital computer, which printed out the actual thing that everyone was supposed to get. And I give a website and everything with all this information, and I show how this relates to the Tower of Babel. So I wanted to show you, in the Hebrew alphabet, Yod He Vav He, you have the 10th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 5th. Those are the values of the letters, and how God's signature is on our code. The ATCG at every 10, 5, 6, and 5 amino acids. It said that there are bonds. And, so that makes the 10, 5, 6, 5, the Yod He Vav He, which is God's name within us. Okay. So, anyways, when we go to this article that I'm talking about on here, that I talk about in part one, actually, this is the article that I go over. And I do want to say that this article, the person of this article is, at the time, at least of that video, I'm not sure if it's changed, but they were pro it, just to let you know. So this isn't, from someone who was anti it. So just make sure that you're aware of that as you read the article. But so this is just more of like an informative article, and they talk about how this is the first characters of this. Okay, which is talking about the code. Okay, and what's interesting is that they change. And I go into this in more detail in my video, so I'm not going to do it right here. But the normal R to the N to the A characters are the A, C, G, and U. Okay, and then in the D one, right, the D code, U is also known as T. Okay, so we find here this, which is like a trident or a psi in Greek, right? So, she asked, what's going on, because they replace this into, like, that's actually what's in the thing that's supposed to be, that people were supposed to get, like, to supposedly prevent everything, right, from you getting anything. They replaced the U with this trident. Okay, so I didn't make any connections about this trident in these videos, though the information that I have is very pertinent to everything I'm saying. This is like new revelation that I'm having at this time. Okay, so that's why I'm showing you that these, I feel like these videos are relevant because I go into more detail on it there. So just keep that in mind. But basically, what it's doing is it's trying to get into your code another way by taking, like, if you're trying to get into a computer some way and you're not supposed to, you have to do this. You have to do that to get into it, right? So it's the same kind of thing. They have to make your body do something that it normally wouldn't do by doing this and feeding it new information, new code for you to carry out that information. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. Okay. So that reminds me, and I'm going to go over that in a minute, like how, like the thief coming in, right, a different way. They're breaking in basically to you. Okay. So going into this, I want to go over the Vav, which is a Hebrew letter, and then the Psi, which is a Greek letter, which is also looks like a trident. So in Hebrew, we have the letter Vav, which can, be represented as a V and sometimes represented as a W, which is the number 6, okay, in Hebrew. So that's why we, like people, a while back related the monster drink as a Vav, Vav, Vav to show 666. And also why people said the www, like on the website, is 666, which, is the internet, right? And, so people link that because the Vav is a V and it's also like a W. So that's why that is there. So what I find interesting is, regarding the monster drink, you can also see, the Vavs and then you see a trident, which is, the Psi, which I'm going to show you the Greek letter, which is, right here. So you have both of these on here, and you also have, the word obviously monster, and you see what looks like a beast, with wings and stuff rising up. Okay. So anyways, the Psi, or the trident, which is, also what this was replaced with, right? Like the U was replaced with the trident, okay? Can represent all kinds of different things. What I find interesting in this list of things is the planet Neptune, which they say the planet, but you can see here Neptune is a false Roman god, and you can see that it looks like almost like a snake on a pole with its mouth open, or dragon or something, and the trident here, and we see this here, right? Sorceries, right? So that can be related. And then we also see, I think it said somewhere, oh yeah, proteins, right? So that I find interesting because, that is what, even though this is the Psi, we see how it talks about how Janus, it's talking about proteins here, okay? Regarding these articles from changing these things, okay? And then that's what it talks about here. It consists of a protein and amino acid independently of each other. They're harmless, but when together, it causes problems, okay? So it just seems like it's all linked. And then so I want to kind of pull together, since this is related, it seems like the Vav and the Psi, or the trident, with everything. I kind of did a little bit of research to see, do they have anything in common, and does it relate in any way? And I found out that surprisingly it does. So the trident, which, is this, right, is for harvesting fish and grains. So, we can see here that this Dutch fisherman was using tridents to get, well, it looks like, they're at water. So it's probably for, like it says here, spearing large fish and so on. And then in agriculture, it's to remove leaves and seeds and buds and so on. So it's also, harvesting grains and stuff like that. And then also combat, apparently. So, spear fishing and so on. So just keep that in mind. It has to do with harvesting things. Okay. And, Yeshua made people fishermen of men, right? So we are, as if we are fish. Okay. So, also, this shows how the trident is a weapon of Poseidon, which is Greek, or Neptune, which is Roman. And so that's what I was saying, when it talks about how it's related to, in this list, how it says the planet Neptune, it doesn't necessarily have to be the planet, because it's also what, our planet is named after the false god, right? So that's why, it's just pagan stuff where, like, the names of everything, we're just, I don't know, have everything all around us seems pagan. Okay, so anyways, that's the point on this, that how it's related to that, okay? And then Vav is a hook or a peg. So Vav is the Hebrew letter, And remember, I showed you it looks like this, okay? That's what it looks like. And then the psi actually looks like this, which I'm not sure if I put that, but I should have. If I didn't, it literally looks just like a trident, okay? So anyways, the vav, I showed you what it looks like. Oops. And it's a hook or a peg, and a sickle is also a hook for harvesting grain. So you can see that a sickle looks just like a vav, does. And so, it's a shorthand farming tool with a semicircular blade for cutting grain, trimming, and so on. So it's also for harvesting, and they're both hooks, the vav and the sickle, and they look the same. So I don't want to say this name, but I'm sure that many of you are aware that his name means sickle. And so, I feel like this is a sign of the times, right? So, and in Matthew 13, it says, he answered and he said to him, he that sows the good seed is the Son of Man, and the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be weeping, wailing, and gnashing of the teeth. So we see, that the harvest is the end of the world, and so, this is the vav and the trident or the psi is both, have to do with harvesting. And then we see, we know what he's famous for, and how his name is referencing the sickle, which is in reference to the harvest, right? So it just kind of like all comes together that, God's trying to open our eyes and show us things. So back to the original video on the mingling of the seeds and everything. So she shows, and I showed you another article how the ATCG is replaced with 3 C's here, okay? And how, the A is associated with 10, the T is associated with 5, and the C is associated with 6, and the G is also associated with 5. So what that means is it's not that the A is 10 or the T is 5, but it's that at every 10 acids, you have these bonds. And so you have the A, and then you have the T, and so on, okay? So with the C's, they're linked to the 6s. So you change this to 10, 5, 6, 6, 6, 5, okay? And so, obviously, I showed you how 6 is, the number, right? We know 666, right? But it's vav, 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 like literally. And that's why, in the Monster drink, you see the vav, 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 and people say, oh, that's, that's 666. So for Yod He Vav He, the name of God Yehovah, we have 10565, where Yod is associated with 10, and the H is associated with the 5, and the Vav is associated with the 6. And then so I show you here, again, you have Janus, which is a 2-headed god looking forward to the future and back to the past. And so if you see this here, when I reviewed this and I was going over things, the thing that came to my mind and the big revelation was, wow, like it really is like, even this isn't anything to do with the articles. The articles was all relating it in some other way, but you can see when you look at this, it's just like Janus. You have 10, 5, 6, right? And then right here, she does it better because what happens is it repeats. It goes 10, 5, 6, 6, 6, 5, and then it repeats 10, 5, 6, 6, 6, 5. Okay, it just continues to repeat. So you have 10, 5, 6, and then you have 6 in the middle. And then you have it opposite, right? Because see, this one is looking this way to the left. So if you have 6 in the middle, pretend like this is 6 right here in the middle. This one is looking this way. So you have 6, 5, 10. And then again, you have the 6 in the middle, and then you have this one looking this way, 6, 5, 10. They're mirror images of one another. So I try to put it here. You have 10, 5, 6 with the 6 in the middle, and then you have the opposite, 6, 5, 10. So one is looking to the past, you're in the present, and one is looking to the future. So I just was kind of blown away by how they're linking these things to Janus within all these articles and in multiple different ways. And, then when we see what it actually does, to the code, we see that same mirror image of Janus within it, where it's taking out God's name, and his mark, where we're made in his image, and it's putting this other mark in people. And so I thought that I needed to share this. Um, so that's why I named this the beginning and the end. So Janus is a false god known apparently on here, as you can see on the picture, of all beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, and ending. We know that Yeshua is the beginning and the end. When he came, he talked about everything that was before him was a robber and thief and so on. He, comes to call the lost sheep back to the Father. He's the only one that's been successful in doing this. However, God can use the things of the world to carry out his will, and the things that are known, he can show us through messages, just like he did with, you know, um, Cyrus, who, was a ruler over things, and Nebuchadnezzar, who was, um, you know, he actually became a beast and so on until he came to, but he can give messages no matter who it's through or what it's through, and make all things work for the good of his people. So he can do this to carry out his will. So, could he be showing us that it's harvest time and that we're at the time of the end through this message for those who have eyes to see? It's time to repent and turn back to the Father. Time is short. In John 10, it says, Verily, verily, I say to you, he that enters not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbs in some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that enters in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter opens, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he puts forth his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger they will not follow, but they will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. So we know, Yeshua says he is the doorway. So, we see that we have this false shepherd, right? This false person who, claims to be the doorway in the beginning and the end and so on. And he's taking place of Yeshua, and he's taking place of the name of God, and, in code and doing all these things. And so I think this is all related, no doubt. And then in Revelation 22, it says, He said to me, Seal not the sayings of this prophecy of the book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust. And he that is filthy, let him be filthy still. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according to his work shall be. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So we see here, he is the beginning, he's the end, he's the first, he's the last, he's the door, right? Everything. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, and whosoever loves and makes a lie. I, Yeshua, have sent my angel to testify unto these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright morning star. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come, and let him that hears say, Come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. So the beginning and the end, I believe that we are at the end and that we are seeing that, and this might be the way that God allows the end to play out. So I hope that you pray on everything, and that, if you have any other connections or comments or anything to add, then please let me know. And again, thank you all for your patience, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and have a good day. Thank you.